Sound of Imani Ray. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our brand spanking new week right here on the night shift. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's Community and Finance Night. I know some of you saw the post for today. And we're looking forward to quite a treat. Unfortunately, due to a bit of an illness, Don Jose Ruiz could not make it tonight. I'll let you know when he'll be on. They assured me that he'll be back. Something to look forward to, right? I want to say big ups, big ups, big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those tuning on TuneIn Radio, the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew, and all the affiliates, rockbox.net, One Harmony Radio across the pond, top of the morning to you guys. The Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, WGLRO, the People Station, with the Donnie Walker Morning Show, taking you from the sheets to the streets. PEMGTV.com. And of course, right here at the home of the night shift, KevinStew.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. I give you my word, I wouldn't even try. Want to say big ups to Pulse Media Group. When being in the moment is priceless, give them a link. 754-999-6020. Or visit them at pulseemg.com. What can they do for you? Well, if you want something like you're watching right here on kevinstew.com, they can hook you up. If you want to capture a moment, you know, it's coming up to graduation time, you want to give them a call right now to capture that moment. Or to even stream it. You might be a part of an institution, an educational institution. You want to stream your event. You don't have your own streaming portal. Pulse Media Group can hook you up with that. If you're a church, if you're a radio station, give them a call. Tell them you heard it right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Welcome 328. I want to invite everybody to jump on into the stew pot, where we keep things bubbling. What is a stew pot, you may ask? It's what others call a chat room, and it's on kevinstew.com. So this past weekend, quite a number of people celebrated 420. Do any of you ever wonder, where did this 420 thing come from? How many people thought about it? Okay. I just gave you a second to think about it and raise your hands. I saw that hand over there. Thank you very much. I don't know if you knew or if you know that this whole 420 thing began in the 1970s. And it actually began with a group of students. Did you know that? Well, many 420 revelers actually don't know the origins of the 420 thing. Some have vague recollections of tales they heard before about its origins. And some believe it's the number of active chemicals in marijuana. Yeah, some actually believe that. Others that it's based on tea time in Holland. Why? I'm not too sure. Some reference the birthday of Adolf Hitler, 420, April 20, 1889. Others, Bob Dylan's legendary Everybody Must Get Stoned refrain from his hit Rainy Day Women number 12 and 35. 12 multiplied by 35 is actually 420. But in reality, hold on to your socks. In reality, it can actually be traced back to a group of 5 California teens who used to hang out by a wall outside their San Rafael school, a meeting spot that inspired their nickname, the Waldos, because they met on a wall, the Waldos. In the fall of 1971, the Waldos learned of a Coast Guard member who had planted a cannabis plant and could no longer tend to his crop. Sounds like a match made in heaven, right? Someone trying to get onto the show and not having much luck. I don't know why. All right. So they okay, cool. Thought I was losing it for a moment here. Oh, pardon me. Let me just make sure. Oh, okay, cool. Everything is good on my side. So this must be something going on their side. All right. So he could no longer tend to his cannabis crop. Now, provided with the treasure map, some say by the plant's owner himself, supposedly leading to the abandoned product, the group would meet by the Louis Pasteur statue outside their school at least once a week to conduct a search. Their meeting time, believe it or not, 4:20 p.m. And this happened after practice because they were all athletes. Now, the Waldos would pile into a car, smoke some pot, and scour the nearby Point Reyes forest for the elusive free herb. Good evening, Julie. Welcome to the show. Hey, Marlon. Big ups to you, sir. Show well done once again. Big ups, big ups. Host of Real Rockers. Julie, aka Jillian J. By the way, Julie, that men's line, we need to talk, We need to talk. If you have not seen anything from the men's line from Jillian J, ladies and gentlemen, please go check it out. You can go to her social media page, which is Jillian J. Look her up on Instagram, look her up on Facebook. Give her a check out and see what you can get. Because, everybody has that guy that you could give a nice little thing to. Like me. You know how to reach me. Right. So the Waldos would pile into a car, smoke some pot, and then go on their treasure hunt. One of the original members of the Waldos, Steve Capper, said, "We would remind each other in the hallways we were supposed to meet up at 4:20. It originally started out 4:20 Lewis. And we eventually dropped Lewis. They never did score the free bud, but perhaps they stumbled onto something more lasting. The term 420 was coined, allowing the high schoolers to discuss smoking pot without their parents or teachers knowing." That was pretty cool, right? But here's the other question. How did this ragtag team of treasure seekers at a high school in California manage to spread their little secret phrase internationally? Well, the Grateful Dead has something to do with that. Members of the Waldos had open access and many connections to the band, the Grateful Dead. Mark Gravich's father managed the Dead's real estate. Dave Reddick's older brother was good friends with Dead bassist Phil Leach and managed a Dead side band. Grateful Dead, that is. Now, Kappa said there was a place called Winterland, and we'd always be backstage running around or on stage. And, of course, they were using those phrases. When somebody passes a joint or something, hey, 420. So it started spreading through that community. Now, the first time Stephen Bloom ever heard the phrase 420 was during Christmas week at a Grateful Dead concert in Oakland, California in 1990 while he was a reporter for High Times. High Times. Bloom was wandering through the congregation of hippies that would gather before Dead concerts. And a Deadhead handed him a flyer that said, "We're going to meet at 420 on 420 for 420ing in Marin County at the Bolinas Ridge sunset spot on Mount Tamalpais. Is that how it's pronounced? Tamalpais? Yeah. Now, Bloom found the old flyer and sent it in to a newspaper. And the flyer told the history of 420. Referencing the Waldos of San Rafael, once High Times latched onto the story, the magazine helped launch the word globally. Who knew? 420 was coined by some high schoolers looking for some free weed. Today, the unofficial holiday is celebrated worldwide. Officials at the University of Colorado at Boulder and the University of California, Santa Cruz, two colleges that boast of having the biggest smokeouts, attempted to push back on the growing popularity of the festivities among their students in 2009. 10 years ago. They encouraged or pleaded with their students to not participate. Needless to say, those efforts were futile. In 2003, when the California legislature codified the medicinal marijuana law the voters had passed, the bill was named, you get it, you would guess it, SB 420. No one fessed up to being responsible for the fortuitous number, but was likely a staffer in the California State Assembly member Mark Lino's office. 420 had also been referenced in classic movies like Pulp Fiction, where some of the clocks are set to the time 420. And on national TV, when a contestant on The Price is Right only bid numbers involving 420, 420, 1420, that was some of the times when it was referenced. Now, even the 1990s Nickelodeon cartoon Rocko's Modern Life had a bit of a feature of a clock reading 420. How cool is that? Now, while many other illicit tales of the origin of 420 have wafted into the half-baked history books, the Waldos have proof. Proof, not just speculation. They have proof of 420 that they used the word back in the 70s. Kept safely tucked away in a vault in San Francisco Bank is their original 420 tie-dyed flag. A newspaper clipping where one of the members discussed wanting to just say 420 for his high school graduation speech, and postmarked letters between the group filled with 420 references. So, what's next for the Waldos? 2 of the original 5 still prefer to remain anonymous, but have agreed to consider making a documentary or compiling a dictionary of their slang words. Or maybe they'll just continue to enjoy a more mellow blaze of glory. 420. Coined by a group of 5 high schoolers back in the 1970s. Who knew? Better yet, who would have thunk it? I know not me.
I say smoke your ganja, it give me a good sense of humor, none of mercy, and keep away from the cancer, none of mercy. I just gotta say, I got my ganja diploma, I went to the ganja college, none of mercy. Increase my wisdom, understanding, and my knowledge, none of mercy.
This is Bounty Killer.
Gotta say, big up the man called Kochi.
A track called Smoke the Herb.
None of mercy, hey, smoke your herb, give tongue some praise, and make we think constructive and brave, because it was born on King Solomon grave, he was the wisest man in his days. Boy, I'm serious, man, I make no joke. Ganja me smoke and not coke. I will never drink them rum and me no eat pork. I go sailing on this white man boat. I have whistle already on me the chronic. Me have some preserve, but don't I make tonic. Crack and the coke, all those things must abolish. Peter touch bun chalice in a Buckingham Palace. Me say, ganja man me come to congratulate. And with no cokehead we now go collaborate. When them a demonstrate or when them a portray. Say them a illustrate when them a contaminate. The younger youths them mind when them this white girl cake. Then them I put in my damn tool as I walk straight. Right out around to Mount Zion night gate. Make it while the sunshine, don't be too late. Good things in a life, the killer a penetrate. And can just message it what we come to dedicate. Youth, no make your life go to waste. Hey, smoke your herb, give down some praise. It make me think constructive and brave. Because it was found on King Solomon grave. He was the wisest man in his days. Oh, I'm serious, man, I make no joke. Ganja me smoke and not coke. I will never drink them rum and me no eat pork. I go sailing on this white man boat. I have whistle already on me the chronic. Me have some preserve, but don't I make tonic. Crack and the coke, all those things must have all this Peter Dutchman chalice in a Buckingham Palace. Me say, Rasta in on the bush and them no stop cultivate. Dropped a fly down from nowhere out of space. Deal with me bad and I'll kick me in me face. Drive up me ganja so them a interrogate. Me move out me ganja when me disread me case. Fast, fast, fast without leaving any trace. So the pamphlet and them no stop circulate. Them dogging at them and them look meaning at them face. Them want to find a seat so them no stop speculate. Them bound down me camp coachy happy migrate. Hey, on farm some other place. Hey, smoke your herb, give down some praise. And make we think constructive and brave. Because it was found on King Solomon grave. He was the wisest man in his days. Oh, I'm serious, man, I make no joke. Ganja me smoke and not coke. I will never drink them rum and me no eat pork. I go sailing on this white man boat. I have whistle already on me the chronic. Me have some preserve, but don't I make tonic. Crack and the coke, all those things must have all his feet. A Dutchman chalice in a Buckingham Palace. Me say
The zone of a Bounty Killer.
and with no cokehead we now go collaborate. When them a demonstrate, when them a portray. So them a illustrate.
In honor of 420.
Influence and them a inactually. The younger youths them mind when them the white girl cake.
So there's this young lady,
I can do last
10 years young to be exact,
around to Mount
by the name of Sarah Hinesley.
Sunshine don't beat.
Or Hinesley, I don't know. Not too sure how her last name is pronounced, but it could be one of those too. It's probably Hinesley. And she's a quite interesting young lady. First of all, she won this national handwriting competition. And typically you would say, but what's the big deal? Well, actually, she is saying the same thing too. What's the big deal? Why is it such a big thing that I won a national handwriting competition? She paints, she draws, she sculpts clay, she can write in English, and she can write a bit in Mandarin. And she said when she learned to write in cursive earlier this year, she thought it was kind of easy. So What's the big deal, Stu? Okay. The big deal is, really and truly, she has no hands. Sarah was born without hands. I have never heard this little girl say I can't, said Cheryl Churilla. And she is Sarah's third grade teacher. She's a little rock star. She tackles absolutely everything you can throw at her, and she gives it her best. Sarah, a third grade student at St. John's Regional Catholic School in Frederick, Maryland, won the 2019 Nicholas Maxim Award for her cursive handwriting. The award is given annually to two students with special needs, one for print writing, the other for script. Sarah has never worn a prosthetic. When she is offered help or a tool that might ease some tasks, like cutting paper with scissors, she says, nah, I'm good. She has this independent streak where she just knows that she can do it and she'll figure out her own way. She's beautiful and strong and might just and mighty just the way she is. And she just lives that way. No two ways about it. That's just how she is. To write, what she does is she grips her pencil between her arms. She forces on the shapes of letters, each point and curve. She focuses, Writing in cursive feels like creating artwork, she says. I like the way the letters are formed. It's kind of like art. Sarah came to the US from China about 4 years ago to join her new family. When she arrived in July 2015, her mother said she could speak and write in Mandarin. She picked up English quickly with the help of her sister Veronica. We learned pretty quickly to trust her judgment and let her gauge how much she wants to do and then let her do it. That's Sarah. She moves through life in this way that you never really see her as having a disability because she has this I can do it, tackle anything type of attitude. In her free time, Sarah likes to draw things around me, she says, like sunflowers. She enjoys swimming, playing with Veronica, who is also 10, and participating in her school chess club. There's little she is not willing to try. Just ask her mother. Sarah is a testament to perseverance and the human spirit. Every day I'm amazed with the things that she is able to do and that she chooses to do. She doesn't try to find her way to avoid an obstacle. She finds a way to complete the task. Sarah will receive her national award at an award ceremony on June 13, and the award also comes with a $500 prize. She's the first student from St. John's to ever receive the Nicholas Maxim Award, said Principal Kathy Smith. I feel so excited and proud. And I'm pretty sure that no one is more excited and proud than Sarah's parents. The little girl has no hands. But she won this writing competition. National handwriting competition. A girl with no hands. What is stopping any of us without disabilities? Now, that's hard to pinpoint since we all have our own little quirks or disabilities, to whichever degree. But what is to stop any of us that doesn't have any physical disabilities like this from accomplishing anything that we put our minds to? Can you think of something? Because I can't. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we talk some more. It's Community and Finance Night right here on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. We'll be right back.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
Are you crazy about the music industry? You aspire to hit it big in music? Or maybe you've sweated out a soulful killer beat and are now stuck finding it's not as easy as it looked. Oh, but it can be easy for you with JTMC. We've been there. We know how it feels. So we solve challenges like production, promotion, marketing, branding and development, and more. With over 30 years of experience, JTMC is a one-stop shop for artists. We handle your graphic design, writing services, PR, as well as event planning, e-blasts, artist management, and bookings, so also your website and social media needs as well. We're experts in using creativity to persuade audiences on behalf of artists, drawing on our diverse experience to create projects that connect with audiences intellectually and emotionally. Artist success is everything to us, and our years of experience and commitment will be behind you for every one of your needs. If you've got music for the world to hear, whether you're a new or established artist, visit us at jtmcenterprise.com.
Roll out with Island Rock Music and have fun. Check out the quality apparel at islandrockmusic.com. Designed for you and your crew. Hear the music, feel the breeze, with selected tracks and more. Available now from the online store at islandrockmusic.com. islandrockmusic.com. Log on today and ride with us.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
want to welcome you back to the show. This segment of the show brought to you by GMAT Music Solutions, providing with stage production services, musical equipment, audio engineers, bands, musicians, singers. GMAT Music Solutions, get them a link. GMATmusicsolutions.com or 754-307-4622. 754-307-GMAC. In the background, SHD, their rendition of Sweet Hour of Prayer. Now, SHD is this interesting little group. One official recording being this. They went around South Florida for a little while, providing musical accompaniment. When shortly after that, only two of the members would still play together. The other went on to do some other things. SHD. The S, Kevin Stewart. The H, Devon Hines. The D, Michael Davis. You had Devon on keys, organ. Mike on bass. And Kevin on drums. Yeah. That was three guys that got together and did that. I remember doing that recording and I play that in tribute to my mother. Her 70th birthday would have been yesterday. And every year, twice a year, I would play this tribute for her. On Valentine's Day when she passed away, and on April 21, her birthday. And if her birthday falls on the weekend, then I'm either gonna play it on the show before the weekend or the show after, as in the case right now. Alright, so I'm sorry. This is bad showmanship. This is bad broadcasting manners. But I just trying to make a connection here real quick. Alright, so I was saying I remember we jumped into the car and my friend who did the recording lived down in West Kendall somewhere at the time. And we were all up in the Fort Lauderdale area. And we all piled up in Devon's, he had a Nissan Quest at the time. We all piled into the car and headed south. And we got down there, and when we got there, we said, okay, what are we going to record? Yeah, that's really how it went. What are we going to record? And I said, Sweet Hour of Prayer. And I said, okay, cool, we can do that. Because Sweet Hour of Prayer was one of my mother's favorite songs. I said, okay, cool. How are we going to do it? And I was like, because at this point, everybody's turning to me. This is a tribute to my mother. Everybody's turning to me. I'm like, start it off traditional, and then we'll just break off into something. Something? Yeah, something. We'll just break off into something. All right, cool. Let's go. So we got down there. We're already there. This is as we're setting up. But I remember we had this electric drum set that sometimes would add an extra beat to something, to that either add an extra hi-hat tap or an extra drum kick. And if you listen carefully to the recording, you'll hear a couple of things, a couple of places. Because this recording was really one take. We said, all right, let's get started, and record was hit, and we started playing, and that was that. The only thing that was added to the original recording was the organ. The organ was laid on top of the original recording, but all in all, it was one take. And I'm actually trying to get a hold of the producer of the track right now. And I got a one response, and I can't seem to get a second. Alright, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But in the meantime, we'll come back to that story. So yeah, that's kind of how that went. It was one take. We just shot it. We did it. We sat down. We started playing. So everything that happened organically. The solos on the keyboard, that was just random. He just did it. We didn't practice how to do it. We just did it, and we just ended. It just happened, and that was the product. And every year, at least twice a year, I make sure to tell these guys thanks. I don't know where Mike is these days. We lost touch with him, but all in all, you know, I talk to Devon regularly, and I talk to the producer, I talk to Junior fairly regularly, but the connection is still there, and you know, respect is due, honor is due, love is constant. That's love right there. When your friends can get together and be there for you in that time when you just need them to just be there. They don't have to say they don't have to say anything. They don't have to do anything major. Although in my case, in this one was major, because over and over and over again, I get to say, here, this was a real tribute, and these guys were with me to pay a tribute to my mother. So much respect, gentlemen, much respect. Alright, so welcome back to the show. Those of you who were with us from the beginning, those of you just joining in, welcome. Interesting story. So I don't know if it is prayer that changes things, or the fact that you're in a trying situation, but situations sometimes have a way of changing people. Real story. Okay, so that's not it. Real true to life story. With guns drawn, plainclothes New York police officers ordered a 19-year-old James Elliott to lie on the front lawn of his parents' house in 2011. It was days after he had committed a violent armed robbery in search of money and drugs. Now, when Elliott looked up during his arrest, he saw his shocked father, John, watching from the living room window with fear in his eyes, not knowing at first that the men were police officers. It was so surreal, Elliot says. After serving nearly 6 years in prison and returning to school, Elliot now can look into his father's eyes and see joyful pride. His son defied the odds and was named one of the top 20 community college students in the region for his post-prison studies at Delaware Technical Community College. Now, topping that off, just this past week, Elliot beat 13 others to be elected the international president of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. The first ex-con to be elected to that office. In addition to his studies, Elliot focuses on prison reform. He volunteers for a program that helps convicted felons navigate the system to obtain pardons and expungements, the process that allows low-level criminal records to be erased. Earlier this month, Elliot spoke at Legislative Hall in Dover, Delaware, in support of a Senate bill that would allow one-time felons and those convicted of misdemeanors to have their records expunged. While everyone from Deltec officials to Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society leaders marvel at Elliot's redemption, his mother, Robin, says she always knew he would bounce back. What he did on that windy night at Newark's University Courtyard apartment, a home invasion while armed with a gun that left the victim with a broken eye socket, that was not who he was, his mother said. So I told him, we have to get you through this. We have no choice. Robin regularly visited Elliot in prison with his father. And she would say, it's just a bump in the road. When Elliot entered the home with a gun, he said it wasn't loaded. In search of drugs and a safe believed to be full of cash, he was surprised to find 5 people there playing video games. One of Elliot's accomplices used the butt of a baseball bat to shatter the orbital socket of one of them, and Elliot realized the robbery had taken a turn for the worst. While Elliot held the gun on the group, his accomplices took the injured victim to the room where the safe was. The victim fought back again, pulling the mask off one of the accomplices, who knew the victim through buying drugs. I go into the room to see what's happening, and they're physically beating this guy, said Elliot, who fled with his accomplices after and the safe. His co-conspirators didn't tell him that the mask had come off. The robbers found $700 in the safe along with credit card paperwork according to the court documents, and $140 from the victim's wallet. Now, Elliot said they made off with closer to $2,000 that night, along with a half pound of marijuana. Elliot's accomplices were arrested a couple of days after the robbery because the victim identified one of the suspects. Elliot did not know they had been arrested, but a few days later, he was returning to his parents' home when he saw a police car in the neighborhood. He had a feeling they were after him, so he drove away. When he returned later, he didn't see a police car and decided to go inside. When he got out of his car, New York officers appeared, ordering him to the ground at gunpoint. So, how it all started. Elliot now can point to his middle school years at Wilmington Christian School in Hockenson as the start of the spiral of behaviors that led him to jail. He felt as though he was being treated differently because he was biracial. I identified as a problem child. I liked to act out, admits Elliot, who was starting to drink and smoke marijuana. After leaving Wilmington Christian School for Newark High School in 10th grade, the problems then escalated. He stopped going to class and began attending house parties, and was both taking and dealing in drugs. once he started dealing, he soon learned that violence and drug dealing go hand in hand. I wouldn't consider myself violent by nature, but when you're dealing with drugs, you're thrown into situations. It's inherently violent, he said. And during his senior year, he was on the receiving end. Elliot had just purchased a pound of marijuana and mushrooms, which he says could have sold on the street for about $2,500 at the time, and had it stolen during a snatch and grab at a party. It hit me hard. I was failing and not doing well in life, but I was happy with what I was doing. Nothing bad had happened to me yet, he recalled. At the time, he was high every day, a situation he now believes zapped him of the purpose that drives him today. After he was robbed, a friend told him he'd seen a safe at Newark's University Courtyard Apartments while buying marijuana and suggested they should rob the place. A week later, Elliot decided to join a trio of accomplices. Elliot had the gun and his friends bought a bat. The third accomplice was outside acting as the getaway driver. Once inside, the gun was drawn. The bat smashed the face and lives changed forever, especially Elliot's. A few days later, he'd be sitting alone in Wilmington's Howard R. Young Correctional Institution, unable to post $112,000 secured bail. Elliot was charged with a grab bag of offenses: first-degree robbery, first-degree assault, second-degree conspiracy, 6 counts of aggravated menacing, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and wearing a disguise during the commission of a felony. I didn't even know that was a charge. Leading up to that moment, I was living in a different reality, Elliot said. I didn't think I would ever get in trouble because I was a bad kid and there weren't ever really any consequences for it. I thought I'd be bailed out and it would be a slap on the wrist. Well, Elliot, my boy, not the case. Before Elliot mixed with the prison population at Howard, he spent several days in total isolation in what he calls the butt-naked room. After learning he wouldn't be bailed out, and while still withdrawing from his drug use, Elliot told officials he wanted to commit suicide, leading to his confinement. Looking back, I don't know if I really did want to kill myself. I think I was just scared to go into the general population. And this recalled Elliot wearing a tailored pink suit, which is a far cry from the thin prison-issued gown he wore after his suicide threat. I'm sure I was thinking about it, but I don't think I would ever have the guts to do it. Elliot was 160 centimeters and weighed 75 kilograms. So that's what? 5'10" and weighed about 150 pounds at the time of his arrest. But he was never assaulted or threatened in prison. Over the years, he found peace working at the prison's chapel as an assistant, the rare job where prisoners can work unsupervised. He realized he enjoyed giving back to others, creating and facilitating programs for prisoners, and even mentoring some with GED tutoring. Prison does not rehabilitate people, so he took the steps himself, John Elliot said of his son. At the same time, Elliot enrolled in correspondence courses via Ohio University, which offers correctional education online. Soon, the Elliot who now has excelled at school began to break out of the shell of disappointment and shame that he had built around himself. The chapel became an oasis, a sanctuary for me, where I could do my schoolwork and not feel like a felon where I was doing it. And I began to succeed, and that success gave me the confidence for the rest of my life. That is why I work so hard at school today, said Elliot. After serving 5.5 years of his 7-year sentence, Elliot was transferred to Plummer Community Correction Center in Wilmington in May 2016 for work release, followed by 6 months of house arrest. Elliot returned to his family home. He was only allowed to leave for 2 hours a day. During that time, he would either work at Panera Bread or attend class in Wilmington at Del Tech, a school that is open to students with serious past criminal convictions. It's a good thing you have institutions like that. With a tracking bracelet strapped to his ankle, Elliot was determined to repair the damage he did to himself and his family. It didn't take long for Elliot to harness what he had always known that he had: a bright mind paired with an unstoppable drive, even if he didn't tend to it as a young man. Whereas I used to get positive feelings from getting high, making a quick $1,000 from selling drugs or going to a party, I was getting that feeling from helping other people and doing schoolwork, he said. Elliot will graduate this summer with a pair of associate degrees in human services and drug and alcohol counseling from Del Tech. He holds a GPA of around 3.7 out of 4 and expects it to rise by graduation. He plans on earning his 3rd associate degree in criminal justice this year at Del Tech Stanton campus while serving as Phi Theta Kappa's president. As Elliot's longtime childhood friend James Karcher puts it, the level-headedness and decision-making that you see now is vastly improved from where it was. I think he limited himself in the past, and now he almost needs a bigger plate for all these responsibilities. Elliot's return to Del Tech coincided with a 2017 change at Phi Theta Kappa, which altered its rules to allow students with criminal records to become members. It didn't take him long to become one of the group's shining examples of how the inclusion of former prisoners could boost the honor society, with new members armed with different perspectives and life experiences. Patty Van Atter, Del Tech's testing center coordinator, an advisor and regional coordinator for Phi Theta Kappa, says Elliot has single-handedly extinguished any qualms about the rule change. We've never been in a situation like this where someone takes off and does what he did, she said. I don't want to give James a big head, but every day I look for that one person why you love coming to work, and over the past weeks and months, it's been James. Last month, Elliot was named to the All-USA academic team, one of only 20 students across the country to earn what is the most prestigious academic honor at associate degree granting institutions. That earned him $5,000. But it didn't stop there. He was also named a New Century Transfer Pathway Scholar by Phi Theta Kappa and received an additional $2,250 scholarship, the first recipient with a felony record. More than 2,000 students were nominated for the scholarship, and Elliot was one of 50 nationwide to win. Mike McCloskey, a Del Tech academic counselor and advisor and regional coordinator of Phi Theta Kappa, still shakes his head. When I think about the fact that we only met him 1.5 years ago and all this happened in such a short span of time, it blows me away, he said. In my 19 years, he's probably in the top 5 students that I've encountered that changed my life. Changes are happening. Isn't that awesome? Changes are happening, he said, just as rapidly in his personal life. Elliot's longtime girlfriend Lauren Hodson gave birth to his first child in January last year, a daughter named Vaida Jade. They lived together in Pike Creek. Elliot, Hudson, and their little one were able to take a break and vacation in Orlando earlier this year, visiting Disney World during Elliot's trip for the Phi Theta Kappa annual convention, which he was announced as the new president of the Honor Society, which dates back to 1918. Elliot collapsed into his mother's arms, and they both wept. The weight of the moment after years of struggle hit hard. To pull yourself together after being so far broken is a testament to him, his faith, our support, and the school's support. Robin Elliott said, "It's still sinking in. I'm so excited just thinking about what he'll end up doing because I know it's going to be something big." Once Elliot begins to tell his story, it's almost impossible to stop him. His Deltec advisors even jokingly warn people who don't know what's coming to settle in. The drive to make his life count is so palpable that hardly anyone who comes across him walks away thinking he won't accomplish his goals. Elliot is determined to use his story to effect change in how felons are treated after serving their sentence. But he is also aware that if he makes a misstep, especially if it's one that lands him back in prison, it would hurt not only himself, his family, friends, and supporters, but others getting out of prison looking to reclaim their lives. When you're released as a felon, you already feel like you have to be perfect. And the more I tell my story and it gets known, it almost heightens that feeling. I'm breaking down stigmas for other people, and if I mess up, the people coming in behind me will be looked at twice. Even though he said he still brims with remorse, he has never reached out to the victims of the home invasion. I still see their faces, how scared they were. It haunts me, he said. But I don't want to invade their privacy and their lives. I already did that once. But the way I live my life now shows what I did to them means something to me. I can never take back the harm that was done, but I can never harm someone again. Being a parent now, I can't imagine someone hurting my daughter. He's an intern with the State Department at Labor's Apex program, which opens opportunities to people with criminal histories by guiding them through the pardon or expungement process. 2 days a week, he's at Wilmington Library, leading meetings filled with people with felony convictions looking to wipe their criminal records clean and reintegrate into society. It's really an issue of opportunity, he said. My story is a perfect example of what happens when you open those doors. Even before his election at Phi Theta Kappa, as Phi Theta Kappa president, Elliot had set his sights on law school with hopes of attending Widener University, Delaware Law School. He is eyeing a future in politics, eager to gain power to push against mass incarceration from within the system. His recent testimony at Legislative Hall about expungements was one of the greatest moments he's had since his release, alongside the birth of his daughter and learning he made the top 20. Elliot may have missed Scholar Drive the night of the robbery, but he didn't miss a sign on his return to Delaware from the Florida convention. His plane was overbooked, and Elliot was transferred to an earlier flight. It happened to include Widener University President Julie E. Wallman. Last week, she spoke at the State Correction Institution in Chester, Pennsylvania, about the power of education. When Wallman's chief of staff, Katie Hershey, noticed the Phi Theta Kappa medals around Elliot's neck, Elliot was introduced to Wallman. He told her about his plans to apply to Widener next year, and they took a picture together. Now he has plans to visit the campus, take a tour, and grab lunch. Elliot can only shake his head at that twist of fate. I'm literally speechless. What do you say about that? Elliot said. It's all just kind of crazy. I guess some things are just meant to be.
Yeah. I want y'all to listen, man, because these stories right here that I'm talking about,
choices, boy.
It may not be about you.
This is Group G Quinn, the Crucifer.
It's about somebody. Somebody needs this right here. Check it. There was this dude I was friends with. Friends since we were elementary kids. Yes, we were homeboys. Through thick and thin, he had my back and I had his. We did so many things despite the fact in God's eyes that it just wasn't right. Then I got saved and gave my life to Christ. God took me in to help me spiritually regain my sight. Then I had a chance to tell my best friend about my Savior, the beginning and the end. But I was too afraid, I thought I would offend him. So I let him remain trapped in the sin. Turning on the news, then my heart sunk. It was my homeboy, he was killed by a truck. He lost his life and never got saved, all because of a choice that I made. There are consequences for every choice you make. So review your options before you make a mistake. There are consequences for every choice you make. Just put your faith in God, that's the chance you'll have to take. There was this girl, she was mad fine, looked finger licking good, she had to be mine. I ended up eventually approaching this time, got her hooked with a little bit of my sweet lines. We became friends, then we became more. What a girl, I didn't know what I was in for. One thing led to another, hugging, kissing, caressing each other. Before you know it, we had intercourse. It was an idea that we both endorsed. Time passed, many days went by. She didn't speak to me, got me wondering why. Then I got a letter from her in my mailbox. I read the note and instantly my jaw dropped. Congratulations, you got AIDS. Yet another unwise choice that I made. There are consequences for every choice you make. So review your options before you make a mistake. There are consequences for every choice you make. Just put your faith in God, that's the chance you'll have to take. A little while after my best friend's death, I went to his parents' house to pay my respects. I figured at this point they were both depressed, but I felt a lot worse and I felt so stressed. Then his mother spoke to me, and to my surprise, he got saved just about a day before he died. He followed my example, my walk with Christ, and I gave God the glory that he made his life right. I still had AIDS, I felt bad since I found out, so I knelt down to repent. I went to a healing service at my home church, and I put faith in God cause I know all is worth. The pastor told me to just have a little faith. Then I went home, had an appointment the next day. After my follow-up test, it revealed no more AIDS, by your stripes I was healed. There are consequences for every choice you make. So review your options before you make a mistake. There are consequences for every choice you make. Just put your faith in God, that's the chance you'll have to take. There are consequences.
We're gonna take a quick little break. When we come back,
so review your options before you make a mistake.
We take a quick look at the question: can ordinary Americans stop working at age 50? Really?
Just put your faith in God, that's the chance.
We'll see what they say in a minute. We'll be right back. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches,
providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com, your links to worship and praise.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy P, Denny Rance featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations on the rhythm: Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Yes. Akar Mantino, I'm making notes right now. You are locked in to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift.
There are days when I am sitting all alone in my room. There are days when my mind's cloudy and I don't know what to do. All I could think of is what I needed to do. All I could think of, my mind's messed up and I don't need it no more. So lonely in my room. There are nights when I am lying all alone in my bed. There are nights when my heart's aching and I just needed to rest. All I could think of is what I needed to do. All I could think of, my mind's messed up and I don't need it no more. All I could think of
Welcome back to the show.
is what I needed to
Those of you just tuning in, welcome. In the background, the sound of Kadia. A track called Lonely in My Room.
and I don't need it
I
no
want to say thanks to JTMC for sponsoring this segment of the show.
in my room.
providing you with tour management, bookings, promotions, event management, social media management. 678-793-8800 gets you in touch. 678-793-8800. They can help you to not be alone in your room. I don't know. Well, maybe. You know, the right amount of exposure, the right amount of marketing. It could do something for you being alone in your room. Or they could help you to be alone in your room if that's what you want. You want to be alone but not necessarily lonely. Yeah. Tell you what. Give them a link. Call my name. See what they can work out for you. Tell them you heard it right here on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. I'm not too sure that they have the means to allow you to retire by the age of 50 as an ordinary American, though. So, what would it take to make that happen? Because, you know, it really just seems almost unrealistic to spill ink over when many Americans already are far behind when it comes to saving for retirement. But there's a movement growing in popularity, especially among younger adults, that preaches extreme saving, side hustles, long hours, and aggressive investing to achieve FIRE. FIRE? Yeah. Financial independence, retire early. FIRE. To achieve this on an accelerated time frame, often within 10 to 15 years. But given the dismal statistic, on Americans' financial well-being, is FIRE only attainable for just higher earning wage earners? After all, 40% of people cannot pay for a $400 emergency with cash on hand. 40%. Only half have 3 months in emergency savings, and almost half carry credit card debt month to month. So, what is FIRE? While the retire early part typically turns heads, FIRE adherents focus more on financial independence, with the goal of building up enough in assets to pursue the kind of life that they really want as early as they can. Many still work after achieving financial independence, but on their own terms, without concern over how much money they actually make. FIRE is as much a philosophy as a financial strategy. It was born out of the satisfaction of the status quo of working in corporate America until you're 60 or 70 and finally retiring and living a great life after that, says Sam Dogan, founder of the blog Financial Samurai. It also rejects American consumerism. Those seeking to FIRE learn to live on less by questioning the value of how they spend their money. Before I succumb to lifestyle creep, it's baked in our society, says Scott Reekins, author of Playing with Fire, who has a forthcoming documentary on the movement. But now I'm able to refocus my life and align my spending with my values. Many of those who have popularized the FIRE movement did make around the median household income when they first entered the workforce in their early 20s, supporting no one but themselves. After that, their income quickly escalated to several times the median. As an example, the well-known Mr. Money Machete, Mr. Money Mustache, also known as Peter Adeni, started his first job in 1997 making $41,000. But he and his then wife ended up earning $195,000 when they reached financial independence at age 30 in 2005, according to an accounting on his blog. Dogan started his fire journey with $40,000 salary in 1999 in Manhattan and was pulling in more than $300,000 with his wife when he reached financial independence 13 years later. Leif Dahleen, the author of the blog Physician on Fire and an anesthesiologist by trade, was making about $400,000 when he realized he could retire early. But he's keenly aware that accomplishing fire is a lot harder for those making the median income of $62,000. People making that as a median? Really? After taxes, they have a $50,000 budget. If you can live off half of that, you can achieve financial independence in 15 years. But you have to give every dollar a job. You need to really want it and prioritize it over anything else. There are examples for his book. Reekins noted that he met several people pursuing fire on more middle-class incomes, including a family living on $70,000. Others point to Gillian Johnsrud of the Big Montana Money Adventures. Johnsrud achieved financial independence in 13 years on a low to middle class income and hampered by $50,000 in debt. She and her husband combined income started at $15,000 and went as high as $60,000 as they worked towards financial independence. Johnsrud, who never completed college, worked a variety of retail and sales jobs while her husband, who has a civil service degree, enlisted in the army. They saved big and small. When her husband was stationed in Washington, D.C., they took a roommate, saving $800 a month for 3 years. That's $25,000 tax-free that we used to buy our first property rental. Our first rental property, sorry. When they finally bought their first house in cash, they bought the cheapest one on the market at the time, $50,000 in Kalispell, Montana. Together on evenings and weekends for 5 years, they remediated its mold issues and renovated using YouTube as their guide. They drove old cars, such as a 1996 Civic they had for 15 years. They ate bagged peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch. They did not dine out. They still have rice and bean Monday, and they aim to eat less than a dollar per pound. That keeps their monthly food bill for 7. They have 5 children now at $700. Overall, her family spends $26,000 to $29,000 a year. She doesn't pretend the path to fire was easy, but she celebrated small victories along the way to stay focused. It's an incredible feeling, especially that first $100,000, she says. Even if you don't have financial independence yet, it is still freedom. That's 3 years of income. Johnsrud's journey is inspiring, but is not easy to replicate. It's an attractive idea to think that you can power play yourself over 5 to 10 years and transition into that kind of lifestyle, says Bruce McCleary, the spokesman for the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. The reality we see is that so many woefully unprepared for retirement at any age, and they have so many financial obstacles. For the lowest earning 40% of American households, it may be close to impossible. This group spends more annually than they earn and have little fat to cut already with frugal budgets. You can't get around the math, Dogan says. If your basic living expenses are $25,000 and you make that, it just does not work. The middle 20% are better off, spending just under what they earn. They still would need to slash their annual budget of $48,000 by about half, like Johnsrud did, if they want to make fire possible. So, they must do this as they watch costs of the biggest budget busters: healthcare, education, housing, and childcare continue to outspace wage gains, says Amy Traub, an associate director of policy and research at Demos, a public policy organization. Oh, it's Demos. Haha. A lot of things need to go right for middle class workers on their way to financial independence, she says. You can't lose a job for a prolonged period of time. You can't have a child get sick. You can't help out a loved one financially. You not only have to be very disciplined, but also very lucky, says Traub. So just like saving for regular retirement, it is easier to start early when you have time to build up money and assets and no children to support. It's also important to realize that your FIRE journey could take longer than others who had a leg up with higher earning jobs. So, what are the basic steps to take, you might ask? Well, save. FIRE adherents aim to put away a significant chunk of their income, at least half, often more. And to do that, they slash their costs, typically aiming for the biggest expenses first: housing, food, and transportation. And then moving on to smaller bills and more discretionary spending like the internet, cell phones, and entertainment. House hacking is a common strategy, usually taking on roommates to defray shelter costs. FIRE followers avoid dining out and get creative on food costs. As an example, Dogen squirreled away free food for his employer. Free food his employer handed out when he was in his 20s. And as for transportation, many rely on just one older, cheaper model vehicle. Others choose public transit or bus for commuting. Public transit or bicycles. Then earn. While they save, FIRE aspirants work to increase their income, either logging in overtime or taking on outside gig work such as freelance writing, consulting, or driving for Uber or Lyft. Many of them blog about their journeys as another way to earn extra income. Then invest. They max out their 401ks and IRAs, which help lower their taxable income. Leftover money is poured into low-cost index funds. Others buy rental properties to create passive income streams. The goal is to reach the 4% rule, or building up large enough nest eggs that you can safely withdraw 4% a year in retirement without touching the principal. Now, that is quite a strategy. And by no stretch of the imagination is it an easy strategy. But that's quite a strategy. Do you think you can do it? That sounds... It sounds like a stretch on one hand. But on another side, it sounds like something that is workable. It sounds like that something that we should all be kind of tapping into. It sounds almost perfect.
Jadan. Empress.
29 minutes to the top of the hour.
Better never know.
You gonna try the FIRE thing? It sounds doable, doesn't it?
I love the Congo bongo. You never know you would love the foray. From the day she link with Jadan, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you would love the Congo bongo. You never know you would love the.
This is the sound of Jadan.
From the day she link with Iman, she said she love her Rastafari.
From the EP Congo Bongo, this is the title track.
Like everything she see na Iman she want. Every second out of me time and she woulda give me anything, although she no mind man. And this price of Mickey
I want to say thanks to the Wake Up and Live show for sponsoring this segment of the show. The Wake Up and Live show kicks off at 7 a.m. tomorrow. With Sir Rockwell doing the Give Thanks segment.
Good loving, it's you and we expand. You never know you would love the Congo Bongo.
I want to remind you there's still advertising spots available on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew and on kevinstew.com. Give me a call 773-789-STEW for rates. And if you want to be a guest on Community and Finance Night, give me a link. Call me, email me, djkevinstew@gmail.com. Let's talk. Do you have a product? Do you have a business? Do you have something going on that you want people to know about? A book, a gift, being talent. Let's talk about it.
Jadon. Empress. You know, say the love for the Rasta youth have for your endless. Better never know.
I look ya know. I look ya.
It's this musical therapy.
You never know you would love the far. From the day she link with Jadon, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you would love the Congo Bongo. You never know you would love the far. From the day she link with Iman, she said she love her Rastafari. She tell me she like everything she see na Iman she want. Every second out of me time and she woulda give me anything, although she no mind man. And this price of me give her, she have a mind pan. So me take her to the river, dash her with the bad pan. Inna the hills, figure links, brain, bubble man. Him have the herbs and the wine for we meditation. Good loving, it's you and we expand. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far right. From the day she link with Jadon, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far right. From the day she link with Iman, she said she love her Rastafari. She tell me, I say she love Rastafari. And she tell I say she have something far. I know for them can't believe oh, Congo Bongo have a rope and a squeeze. All of a sudden she no want no red meat, strictly itas true. Or some greens. She a tell I about the coconut with the bean. I say anytime no, she a come for me scheme. She never know she woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far right. From the day she link with Jadon, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far right. From the day she link with Iman, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far right. From the day she link with Jadon.
This is the sound of Pluto Shervington.
1 yard with furniture and wheels for sale.
A track called This a Hard Time.
It make you really wonder where did we feel. But draw your bricks and wait a minute. We don't know we're not quite dead. With your smoke there must be fire. Salvation instead. So who are leave? Gone already. Or who are still at them a go share the sweet. Only them that share the sour, at them a go share the sweet. Some long years afterwards, when we catch with foot, through hard determination and will, the prodigals will realize where them pots are cook. Heavy man's. All the must climb the ladder, leaving the space beneath. When the puss them proudly gather, is gnashing of teeth. So who I leave, gone already, or who I stay, better sit down steady, cause tide is rising fast, and this your hard time can't last. Who I leave, gone already, or who I stay, better hang on steady, cause when it's time to read, only them that share the sour, at them a go share the sweet. Only them that share the sour, at them a go share the sweet. Who I leave, gone already, or who I stay, better sit down steady, cause tide is rising fast, and this your hard time can't last. Who I leave, gone already, or who I stay, better hang on steady, cause when it's time to read, only them that share the sour, at them a go share the sweet.
Kevin Stew.
If you can't hear, you must have to feel, must have to feel. Can't hear, you must have to feel, so take it. If you can't hear, you must have to feel,
This is the sound of Hope and Linda working out with Sly and Robbie. Track called Hard Years.
better change your ways. Hard years, if you want to see longer days. Hard years, time to come up off the street before Babylon turn up the heat. Hard years, better change your ways. Hard years, if you want to see longer days. Hard years, time to stop war rude before killing come down your food. Stick must be broken at your ears, make you can't hear. I chat about you a youngster and don't hear. Young but you no know no storm. Prison life and no false alarm. Gunshot a lick and it no respect no one soul. You better change your direction before you end up in a police station or a worse situation. Ideas, better change your ways. Ideas, if you want to see longer days. Ideas, time to come off of the street before Babylon turn up the heat. Ideas, better change your ways. Ideas, if you want to see longer days. Ideas, time to stop war rude before killing come down your food. Build up your family, refusing to quit. Read over blood money, tell me is it worth it? I chat about you a bad boy, hey, and I ride like a cowboy. But time longer than rope, don't take it for joke. Check yourself before you wreck yourself and watch what you smoke. It's not too late to take advice, so listen to the words of the wise. Hey, ideas, better change your ways. Ideas, if you want to see longer days. Ideas, time to come off of the street before Babylon turn up the heat. Ideas, better change your ways. Ideas, if you want to see longer days. Ideas, time to stop war rude before killing come down your food. You can't hear, you must have to feel, must have to feel. If you can't hear, you must have to feel, so take it. Can't hear, you must have to feel, must have to feel. You can't hear, you must have to feel.
This is the sound of The Real Storm. It's called Real Life. Before that, we heard from Slan Robbie, featuring Houghton Linda Hardy is. The track is called Real Life. The Real Storm. Last week I had said I'd be playing a track from this guy. And I didn't do it. This is J. Will working out with Raps and Kush Band. Yeah, you guys are familiar with a former partner of his with Raps and Kush, G. Cole. Yeah. This is the band that they used to sing in. Raps and Kush. This is J. Will. The track is called Jah Is Real, from his album Love Your Life.
He's always there. Oh, Jah, He everywhere. From the righteous paths, I really try not to drift. Try not to be misled by illusions and myths. From the Babylon dirty system we have to drift. Try to captivate my mind with tricks and gimmicks. Them try to say Jah dead and we know nothing no go so. Them heaven in the sky and we know. Them a tell pure lie. Yes, that's how we go. The innocent are die and the same so we go. So why in this beautiful earth they find fight a war? Is it your position that they are fighting for? Or is it that they want with me a buckle on the shelf? I rap some kush, I play the song, you know, and nothing else. My job is real, and I can feel it in this air I breathe. It's always here. Oh, job is everywhere. My job is real, and I can feel it in this air I breathe. It's always here. Oh, job is everywhere. If by the laws of nature, not the laws of man. And in this world I try not to be judgmental, unconditional. Love it is fundamental, the reign of Jah. Yes, it is perpetual. There is no place for the just in your society. Your empires were built on the blood of slavery. In that them trust, who them that is another story. Try to mix up the words with them funny money. True world to me that really means good health. Like the wax in front of the fire, so the wicked don't come out. So on your knees, Babylon, I say bow down and repent. And now, oh Jah, He's omnipotent. My Jah is free, and I can feel Him in this air I breathe. He's always there. Oh Jah, He's everywhere.
If we break up, it's not my fault. 'Cause I'm trying to break down the wall.
This is the sound of Kitty Corbin.
If I knocked on your door once more,
Courtesy of One Harmony Music.
or set me free.
It's called Show and Tell.
I could play an instrument, it would be a guitar. I'm strumming my pain with my fingers, aiming straight to your heart, trying to show and tell you that I love you, trying to show and tell you that I care, trying to show and tell you that I need you, trying to show and let you know I'm here. Don't let me go, don't let me go. Oh, I need you so, I need you so. Oh, don't let me go, don't let me go. Oh, I need you so. If I could play an instrument, it would be a guitar. I'm strumming my pain with my fingers, aiming straight to your heart, trying to show and tell you that I love you, trying to show and tell you that
Never gonna change my mind, 'cause I've been wanting you, girl,
This is Glenn Slowly.
for the longest time.
Yeah, we're rocking out nice and easy. It's called Never Gonna Change My Mind.
I've got you, girl. How can I change my mind?
from the return of the lonely soldier.
When I used to see you on the street, girl, every time my heart skips a beat, girl, every time. Knowing it's you that I want, girl, to be mine. Tell me now, how can I change my mind? 'Cause I've been wanting you, girl, for the longest time. And now I've got you, girl, never gonna change my mind. Never gonna change my mind. Never gonna change my mind. All I'm asking you, girl, is to be kind and give me your love, and I'll take care of you, girl, every time. I'll give you love, love in return. 'Cause I've been wanting you, girl, for the longest time. And now I've got you, girl, never gonna change my mind.
You think no one sees you when you close the door, but everything I do, you seem to know the score. One man's glory is another man's shame.
This is Third World.
You make the rule.
Eyes are up on you. Before that, we heard from Glenn Slowly, Never Gonna Change My Mind.
Eyes are upon you, yeah. Careful what you do, someone's watching. Eyes are upon you. Eyes are upon you. Oh, man. Careful what you do, someone's watching you. Eyes are upon you. Always watching you. Careful what you do, someone's watching you. Eyes are upon you. Watching you. Careful what you do, someone's watching you. You think the coast is clear, so you don't have no fear. But little did you know, someone else is always here. Glance at your reflection. You need to find an objection. In an effort to hide, you're just wasting your time, 'cause they're watching you in every way. Eyes are upon you. Upon you. Careful what you do, someone's watching you. Eyes are upon you. Oh, careful what you do, someone's watching you. Eyes are upon you. Careful what you do, someone's watching you.
Eyes are up on you. There's always somebody watching. Big brother, big uncle, big sister. Whatever you want to call it, you know. See, Facebook announced that, listen, we've been going through your messages. We've been kind of glancing at your messages. Although, yeah, we call them safe and secured, but we've been glancing at them to see what's been going on. So, you know, we just want to be close to you.
Hey, baby.
Because we love you like that.
I just want to get close to you.
This is how I leave you tonight. Fastbook being really that. The Fastbook close to you. I want to thank you each and everyone for tuning in tonight. This is the sound of Peter G working out with the one and only Miss Joanna Marie.
This is
is Joanna Marie, and it's all about DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. You feel for some stew? Check out Kevin Stew.
Hey, baby.
Thank you, JoJo.
I just want to get close to you.
Catch you all tomorrow. Remember to catch Melissa Jane at 9 p.m. on the Melissa Jane Show, and then catch me at 10. I'm out of here. Take care.
Consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.